guys, so we recently got back from a trip to Disney World, and a lot of you asked me for some tips on going to Disney World with a toddler, so that's what this video is. This is a tips for Disney with a toddler video. Now, I'm not a Disney expert, but I did have a lot of Disney experts give me advice, and I did survive going. So I think that qualifies me to give you guys some valuable tips. So let's start from the beginning before you go. So we planned our trip to Disney with about a month in advance. However, most people plan it at least 6 months in advance. This could help you, but also, let's be honest, a lot of us who are not really Disney people don't think about these things that far in advance. Anyway, if you can, I would recommend reserving certain restaurants that are popular, especially the ones in the Magic Kingdom during popular times. 2 time slots that you'd want to look at are lunchtime, which for us was Tommy's nap time. I would have killed to have had a lunch reservation at the Be Our Guest restaurant in the Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom actually has a couple of restaurants that you can reserve at 8 a.m. Now, these are character meet and greets, so your kids will love them. Granted, that's early, but don't forget, the park doesn't open until 9. So by making these reservations at 8 a.m., you get into the park, and then once the rides open, you're like already so far ahead of everybody waiting to get in that you can at least hop on 1 or 2 rides without any lines. And when you're going to Disney with a toddler, we're all about minimizing the time that you wait. Tip number 2, if you can afford it, I do recommend staying at a Disney resort if you can. It's just gonna make a few logistics easier for you. They actually have a free bus that will take you from the airport to your hotel. Also, one of my favorite features is that at the hotel, you can actually check your luggage to your flight while you're at the hotel. We didn't have to unload all of our luggage and then try to juggle Tommy and all of our checked bags. It was just really easy if you have a lot of luggage and you are gonna be checking bags. And best of all, they have buses that drop you off right in front of the Magic Kingdom and other parks that go directly to your resort. You don't have to stop at a lot of other resorts. If you are gonna stay on other properties, I would recommend using Uber Family, or I think it's called Uber Car Seat now. They were plentiful. It's an Uber with a car seat. Tip number 3 is to download the My Disney Experience app. So you go on, you create an account, and you can link your hotel to it, and then Disney sends you these bracelets called Magic Bracelets. So this bracelet acts as your room key to get into your hotel. So when you get to your hotel, you don't even have to check in. You can do it all online, and then you just take your armband, your magic band, and you press it up to your hotel door, and bam, you get to go into your hotel. It's amazing. This band also you can link to your My Disney Experience account, which then also controls getting into the parks. So if you buy a Magic Kingdom pass, bam, you use your bracelet, you just tap it against the turnstile machines, and voila, you're in the Magic Kingdom. No money, no credit cards exchanged, nothing needed, no lines. Well, of course, there's security lines. The other important thing about this bracelet is that it connects to your Fastpass. What's a Fastpass, you ask? I had no idea. They didn't have it the last time I went to Disney World, but apparently you can sign up for these things called Fastpasses, 3 of them at one park on one day, and it gives you an hour window to go on any ride that you've selected and skip the line. This is a very nice perk when you have a toddler who does not understand what patience is. Before you go, if you have a toddler, you're gonna wanna research some of the rides that you want to get your Fastpass for. I had some people give me suggestions. We then got there. We didn't really know what we were doing. So I would highly recommend maybe planning out what rides you're gonna go to and when. So we did the Fastpass with this safari ride. It was 33 degrees out when we went on it, so Tommy wasn't the happiest. Right after the safari ride, we were there so early, there was no line at the Aladdin ride, so we went on that as well. Tommy enjoyed it.
Complete stop, your watch in a near second. Hope you're magical.
Then we hopped on over to the Country Bear Show, which Nick thought was so weird, and it kind of was really weird, but it kept Tommy's attention the entire time, so whatever. Tommy barely hits 35 inches, so we actually brought him on the Barnstormer, which is a roller coaster. I don't know if we probably should have brought him on, but we certainly had fun. It was short and quick, and he enjoyed it. Next, we didn't do a Fastpass for Dumbo, and I highly don't recommend that you do either. When you go into the Dumbo ride, you actually get put into an indoor playground. So if you're going to Disney and it's really cold, like when we were there, or more likely it's super hot, this is a good place to kind of go to cool off or get warm. And also, it's just a nice little indoor playground to let the kids run around if they're tired of being in lines or sitting on a ride. After you can hang out as long as you want in there, and then you go on the Dumbo ride, which Tommy thoroughly enjoyed. After the Dumbo ride, we then hit up the Buzz Lightyear ride, which I think was my favorite of the ones that we did at Disney. We used a Fastpass, and I highly recommend a Fastpass for the Buzz Lightyear ride. It was super fun. Tommy was able to kind of control the car that we were in, and it was zipping around. And it was a really cool, fun ride experience. We did do the carousel, which was enjoyable, and the last ride that we did that I think is completely overrated, and I actually recommend that you skip it, is the Peter Pan ride. It has the longest line out of any of the rides at Disney World, and it was totally lame. It was just old and slow and short, and you're just like on these little like ski lift chairs going over London, but it was, I don't know, it was weird. We waited 20 minutes even with a Fastpass. I wish that we had done a different ride with it. I think my favorite though, aside from Buzz, was probably the parade. The parade was awesome. It was at 3 o'clock when we were there, and since we were with a toddler, we didn't have the ability to stay much longer. So we stayed, we watched the parade, Tommy really enjoyed it, and then we sadly left at 4 o'clock. We chose not to do any other parks because Tommy's pretty young and the parks are expensive. They were over $100 each for Nick and I. And for Tommy, since he's under the age of 3, he's actually free. If you're debating if you should bring a 2-year-old to Disney, this might make you want to go. However, Tommy totally didn't really get it. You just got to get there early. I also recommend that you bring some food because once you're in there, there's not really anything healthy. We brought the stroller. I didn't feel like it was going to get stolen, but you can't really bring your stroller on the rides, so you have to leave them in these stroller parking areas. There were a million strollers. I've only heard a few horror stories of people having theirs stolen, but I did hear one tip that if you bring a lock, you can't lock it to something, but you can lock your wheels together. And lastly, going to Disney with a toddler, you gotta have realistic expectations. Tommy really didn't get much of what was going on. He loves animals, but he was afraid of a lot of the animals there. We tried to go to the Rainforest Cafe at Disney Springs, and he was very scared. So we just went to the Magic Kingdom, and other people recommended that we go to the Animal Kingdom, but instead we decided to stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge that actually has animals right outside your window. We had giraffes, we had gazelles, all these different really cool animals right outside our window when we woke up in the morning in our porch. We went to the Magic Kingdom one day. We decided to just hang out at the hotel, do the hotel pool another day. Another day we went and hung out at Disney Springs. So we really didn't need to go to many of the different parks. I think Epcot for a toddler would be pretty boring. I think I answered a lot of the questions. If I didn't answer a question that you might have, leave it down below and I'll do my best to get back to you, and hopefully this was helpful. Thanks to everybody, including Carrie Ness, who helped me with planning my own. Carrie helps families plan Disney vacations, so if you have any questions, I'll link to her website down below. See you guys soon.